Hello, everyone. Welcome. I want to thank God for this opportunity, and I want to welcome you to Life is a University Show. Thank you for tuning in. I am Tyrone Poole. Today's show is about there is a process before the promise. Yes, there is a process before the promise. And what made me come up with this topic, I had the opportunity to watch some young athletes this past weekend here in the state of Georgia compete in the state track and field championships. And there were many events, but out of all of those events, only one person could say that they were number one. And the other runners, they started out this year saying that I have a promise. I have a promise that I want to get to the state track meet. Now, this could be any sport. It could be any sport in high school. Maybe it was the football team. Maybe it was the basketball team. Maybe it was the baseball team, wrestling team, tennis, volleyball. But they all said, we want to achieve a promise. And that promise is to be number one. But in order to be number one, there is a process that you have to go through. Now, every team started out saying, every coach started out saying, every player started out saying that there is a promise that we want to achieve. But at the end of the day, only a very few realized that there is a process to become number one. And they were willing to put in the work, no matter what, put in the work, because the higher the promise, the more process you have to go through. So that is what I'm going to talk about today. It's going to be a great show. So if there's a promise in your life that you keep telling yourself, I want this, I want that. This is my promise. This is my goal. This is my end touchdown, end zone, right? This is my end game. Well, I'm here to tell you, if you truly want to maximize, you got to go through the promise. You got to go through the process to get to the promise. So, what is Life University Show? What is the purpose of Life University Show? Well, I understand that life is truly a university, and there are principal classes that life offers us all. And these classes are called tests, trials, and temptations. And our experiences with these principal classes is the only thing that separates me from you and you from me. And that is the truth, my friends. It's our experience. Because life is going to offer us all principles. Now, this next statement that I am about to make is also 100% truth. You guys say 100% truth. Say it, 100% truth. What Tyrone is about to say is 100% truth. And that 100% truth is the difference between those who overcome and those who don't. Those who get the promise, right? And those who don't get the promise. Well, the difference lies 3 inches between your ears. It's how you think when you're going through the process. It's how you set your mind when you're going through the process. When you're being tempted to quit. When the test becomes so unbearable. How do you set your mind when you're going through the process? How do you set your mind when you are being tried harder than you've ever been tried before? But you have a promise. You have an end line, an end goal, an end game that you're trying to get to. But life says, I'm about to turn up the heat in this process. If you're going to achieve that promise, it lies 6 inches, 3 inches between your ears. So that's why my purpose as host of Life is a University show is to give you principle-based information that will inspire and motivate you mentally, spiritually, and physically to overcome and graduate Life University, people. So you can move on. You guys know I can hold that note that long, huh? Let me do that again. So you can move on. So you can move on. That's my purpose, to help you overcome and graduate so you can move on to the next level of your potential. So you can go through that process and receive your promise. It's not about me, people. It's about, I believe, God giving me the opportunity to speak using my experiences or what I've heard other people go through. And I'm just being a mouthpiece to encourage you, to inspire you, to motivate you that, yes, you can go through the promise. You can achieve your promise. Yes, you can go through the process. I was thinking about the Nutty Professor. Should I do my Nutty Professor on that? Let's do it. So when it comes to the process to get the promise, I'm here to tell you, yes, you can. Yes, you can work that thing and get through the process so you can achieve your promise. Now, it's going to be tough. Every day you wake up, you got to fight. So my advice is every morning, wake up, be thankful, because you're living in a day that was not promised. There are a lot of people who got promises, right? Just like you and me. They got promises. They had promises today, but somebody didn't wake up. Somebody closed their eyes and did not wake up. So I'm telling you, every day when you wake up, people, you really should complain about nothing. I don't care how hard it gets. Yeah, I know sometimes we just got to talk, right? We got to let off some steam. I'm like that. I'm like that. The top of the pot start moving around and shaking. You guys ever like had a pot where you like cooking something and then that pot, the top start moving? Then what do? You take the lid off, let that steam out, and then you put the top back on. So I understand that sometimes you have to talk. You have to release that pressure. So my advice, wake up every morning, put those gloves on, do what you got to do, release that pressure, and you continue to fight. You continue to work that thing. Because if you do not quit in the process, you will get to your promise. Whether it takes 5 minutes, 5 months, or 5 years, you do not quit. And also, you got to keep watching Life is a University show. And I hope you guys are telling other people about the show. I hope you are. I pray that you are. And for those who have and those who continue to tune in, I thank you. I thank you. I thank you. I praise you. Now, again, I'm just here to inspire you guys, to keep you motivated and keep myself motivated, right? Because faith comes by hearing. Faith, it doesn't matter who it comes from. You got to hear it. And when you hear it, it affects that thing that sits 3 inches between your ears. So just continue to watch Life is a University. Also, the book, Ultimate Success in the Game of Life. Go to TyronePoole38.com, people. Continue to help me support other people. Again, I appreciate everybody who's bought their book. The book comes autographed personally from me to you. So thank you. TyronePoole38.com. And one day the book's going to become valuable because, I did do a little something, praise God, in my lifetime. So hopefully it'll be impactful and somebody will request that only written book. I'll never write another book called Ultimate Success in the Game of Life. So if you get it, then bam, you actually get the message and then you can hold on to it and maybe get paid later on in life. Who knows? I don't know. Also, I want to let you guys know about Work That Thing supplements. Work That Thing, people, is all about the E. What we do, we work that thing. What is it all about? It's all about the E: effort, efficiency, encouragement, right? You got to embrace. You got to embrace it when you work that thing. Our slogan is your body is your business. And I'm here to give you guys my 22 years of high school, college, and professional. I feel like I'm a doctor, a doctor. My body was my business and it still is my business. And I want you guys to not only be great, and I want you to maximize while you're going through the promise, right? While you're going through the process, you're going to need some nutrition to help you get to that promise. Because I'm telling you, sometimes when you go through the process, it drains you. It drains you mentally. There are people who have gone through the process and they've had mental breakdown. So go to workthatthing.com, check out the store. I'm pretty sure there's something that can help you get through the process mentally and physically so you can capture and obtain your promise. That's why we created the store, to put products in the store to help you maximize. Get through the promise, get through the process so you can get to the promise. So workthatthing.com, people. Also, if you're looking for a keynote speaker, I am he. I am he, people. I am that guy, right? Corporate events, workshops, college program, commencement, spring, fall, youth empowerment seminars, church functions. Like I said, life is a university, people. It is a university. So if you're looking for that unique speaker, if you're looking for that person that the messages are so informational, yet inspirational and always motivational, then go to bookings at tyronepoole.com. Bookings at tyronepoole.com. And let's work that thing, because yes, we can. Also, I want to give a shout out to all those that are watching on YouTube, LinkedIn, X, formerly known as Twitter, and Facebook. Please, please, please. Do I need to pull my James Brown out? Do I need to do my James Brown? I see some people out there waving their hands. Yeah, do it, do it. I'm going to do it. I'm going to do it. So please, please, please like and subscribe, right? Because teamwork makes the dream work, people. And at Life is a University, our mantra is work that thing with us or watch us work that thing, because we're going to work through this process and we're going to get our promise, baby. Everybody got a different promise, but the process is pretty much the same. You got to work that thing. Now, I know you guys are probably looking at the backdrop. You're like, what in the world? What kind of backdrop is that, Tyrone? Well, as I was preparing for the show, again, not only just looking at these young athletes participate, how they went through the process of a whole season to get to the promise of being a state champion or get into the state track meet. And then I thought about the butterfly. You know, because sometimes you just can't put people's pictures up. They'll come get you. But also I thought about the caterpillar and the butterfly. There is a process that the caterpillar has to go through in order to become that beautiful butterfly, which is the promise. You go through the process. You're going to be on the ground. You're going to be struggling. There's opportunities for you to get stepped on, run over by cars, birds pick you up off the ground. All of that process, some good, some bad. But there's a process to go through to become a beautiful butterfly. It's a process, people, that you have to go through to get the promise that you want. The process before the promise, people. The process before the promise is a phrase. It is a phrase that refers to the series of actions or steps that must be taken before the promise is fulfilled. A la the caterpillar that becomes a butterfly. A process now, the process that you go through can be painful, like I said. But understand this. The pain that you go through, the process of the pain that you go through, I don't care if it takes 1 week, 1 month, 1 year. People leave you, you lose some things, you miss out on play, whatever the case may be. It could be painful, but you got to understand this. Even though it may be painful, the pain is not meant to destroy you. The process of the pain in the process is meant to build something in you. So when you get the promise, you're able to hold on to the promise. You're able to develop the promise. Woo, I'm fired up right now already. So today, I want to talk about an essential truth that governs not only the nature of our aspirations, but the fabric of our reality. The undeniable fact that there is a process before the promise, people. There is a process before the promise. Now, as human beings, we're captivated by the allure of the promise. You know, we see so many, especially on social media today, you see so many people advertising, you know, this is the promise. This is what you get, the promise. They dangle the promise out there like a carrot, right? The promise of success, the promises of happiness, promises of innovation, promises of change. And I'm telling you, these promises, the glimmer that it gives off on the horizon, kind of like a distant star, man. You know how stars just twinkle? That's how the promise looks, right? It's full of hope, full of possibility. Yet, it is crucial to remember that between the promise and the fulfillment lies a journey, a process that must be undertaken, people. I'm telling you right now, this process is the bridge between aspiration and achievement. The double A's. Aspiration and achievement in between is a bridge called process. Between potential and realization is a bridge called the process. And the process is not just a part of the journey. No. I don't believe it's just a part of the journey. I believe the process is the journey itself. How many of you believe that? How many of you agree with what I just said? That the process is just not a part of the journey. The process is the journey in itself. The process is in my mind, is the sweat on the brow of laborers. It's the sweat on the labor, man. I'm like, sometimes you work so hard during that process, you got so much sweat going. You ever had sweat when you sweating so much, it just sweats on your eyebrows and it started getting on your eyelashes. You just got to wipe your forehead, right? That's process. Process makes you sweat. It's the countless hours of for example, a student, the countless hours of a student, whether middle school, high school, college. It's the countless hours of a student studying. Been up all night. I haven't gotten no sleep in the last couple of days, but I got to achieve this A on my test. Because if I get this A, I am promised to be valedictorian. It's a process. It is the process is the relentless trials of a scientist that stays up all night, wiping the brow, staying up all night, the relentless trials after trial after trial that discovers a cure. The process, the promise. I promise you that there is a cure. Well, you got to put in some long, relentless hours and trial after trial after trial. The process, people, is the tireless rehearsals of the artist. Whoever your favorite artist is right now, whether it's rock and roll, R&B, hip hop, country, whether it's classical. Think about the tireless rehearsals of that artist to sell millions of records, to get it to the point where the promise is that you will buy that record. The process, people, the process. And I'm here to tell you, without this process, without the process of the people who I just named, and whatever it is you're going through right now, whatever you have set your mind to, the promise, your promise, my promise. Without this process, people, I believe promises remain nothing but a distant dream. Yeah, you got to go through the process. Again, if you want to keep the promise, if you want to maximize the promise. Now, how do I know that this is true? That without the process, the promise remains a distant dream? Well, when I look back on my life, when I look back at coming up in LaGrange, Georgia, which is about an hour and 20 minutes southwest of Atlanta, I know for a fact that I was not the best athlete. I know a lot of you look at me and you say, Tyrone, man, I see your Instagram, I see your Facebook, man, you're a phenomenal athlete. Praise be to God. And thank you. But I'm here to tell you, I was not the best athlete. There were a couple other athletes that were better than me. And how do I know that? Because they used to beat me. They were strong. They used to beat me in sprinting. They were stronger than me. But why did my dreams become reality? Why did my dreams become reality? And their same dreams now, because we all grew up in the same neighborhood, played against each other. We spoke to each other. Why did my dreams become reality and their dreams did not? I don't know. Maybe it was because they did not want to go through the process. Maybe they thought there was a shortcut. Maybe they thought there was a red pill or blue pill, whichever. But I'm telling you, people, there are no shortcuts. There is no red pill. There is no blue pill. If you want to achieve your promise and maximize your promise, you got to go through the process. I'm telling you, people, there are no shortcuts. Say it with me. There are no shortcuts. The process is what it is. Now, I know this for sure as well. The process demands patience. And why do I say I know that so well? Again, I just gave you a story, right? from LaGrange, Georgia to the NFL. There was plenty of times that I could have quit because the process got hard. There were plenty of times that the process just demanded patience. And the process demanded 10 years, people, of being patient. But I stayed with the process. And NFL, National Football League. So anyways, all I'm saying is, people, that the process demands patience. For it, the process is not a sprint, but a marathon. Process to promise calls for resilience, people. You got to be resilient, as there will be obstacles that seem insurmountable. You when it seems insurmountable, people, you got to continue to work that thing. You got a WTT 100. You got to know it's all about the E. If I am going to go from process to promise, I got to work that thing. I got to give effort. I got to be efficient, but I cannot give up. I got to continue to engage. It's all about the E. Process to promise requires discipline, people, as the path is filled. I'm telling you, your journey through the process to the promise, it's going to be filled with distractions. That's why a lot of people don't achieve the process. They don't achieve the promise because of the distractions. And I believe that would happen to some of the guys that I grew up with. They got distracted. Got with maybe the wrong people. Or maybe they were tempted. Temptation led them astray. And I'll tell you this too. Above all things, what I'm going to tell you is that process to promise will ask for you to be courageous. You got to have courage to start. Courage to continue when you don't understand why you have to go through this. Why is this happening to me? It's not supposed to be like this. It's not supposed to be this hard. But you got to continue. You got to continue. You got to continue to work that thing, even when you don't understand. Process to promise requires failure. Yeah. Process to promise, there are going to be plenty of times where you're gonna pick the wrong door. You're going to go down the wrong road. But don't worry. Just learn from that failure. Study it, cultivate it, and get back on the right path. Get back on the right path that leads you to your promise. You just continue to rise again as many times as it takes, people, to get through the process and achieve your promise. So let us consider the process and just continue to work that thing, people. Now, as I come to a close of another great show, Life is University, I just want to let you guys know, regardless, we must endure the process. We, you, me, we must acknowledge the process, whether it's in our personal lives, our business lives. Some of you out there, you're trying to grow a business. You're an entrepreneur. You got to continue to go through the process. Maybe in your personal life, I don't know. Something in your personal life. Maybe you're trying to rebuild your relationship with a person. You got to trust the process. Or maybe it's a young athlete. You got to endure the process to get to the promise. And I believe by embracing, it's all about the E. It's all about the E. By embracing the process, you got to embrace it. We must also accept that it can be invisible to the outside world, but seen in the inner person. So that's why the small steps that we take day by day may not seem significant to others, but over time, people, I'm not telling you what I heard, I'm telling you what I know. Over time, others we'll see how staying with the promise, staying with the process to get to the promise, how you stayed with the process was why and how you received the promise in your life. So as we chase the promises of tomorrow, let us not forget the promises that we hold deeply and the process that we have to go through daily. Let us honor the hard work, the dedication, and the perseverance that bridge the gap between what is and what will be. Let us remember that every promise has its price that must be paid. You got to pay the piper, people. There are no discounts. There are no discounts. And that price is paid through the currency of effort to continue through the process. So embrace the process, respect it. It's all about the E. Learn from the process because the process is a great teacher. So until next time, people, until next time, I pray that you prosper in everything as you go through the process to get your promise. May you be in health as you go through the process to get to the promise. And may you be in health just as your soul prospers as you go through the process to get the promise. I want to thank you for watching Life is a University Show. If today's information was helpful to you in any kind of way, please, please, please email us and share your thoughts, people. Email us at info@lifeisAuniversity.com, where our mantra is work that thing with us or watch us work that thing. What do? We work that thing. What is it all about? It's all about the E, baby. Effort, efficiency, embracing, encouragement, the right environment. WTT 100. I'm out of here. Peace.